Five Out Basketball, 5 segments, 5 takes. This is the podcast for NBA conversations. This is 5 Out Basketball, and it starts in 3, 2, 1.
But we're going to end on a banger. I'm very excited for this one. We've done hot takes multiple times. We have done a hot takes together. I did a playoff hot takes. I'm probably going to do that again. But this hot takes are coming from the fans. Sent out a Google form. We got about 18, 20 submissions. You know, having 40 subscribers, I'm not mad. I'll happily take a cheeky 20.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
So I pulled, we have 6 we're going to talk about. 3 of them, well, not the 6 I pulled, but from the 20 we had, 3 of them were similar to one and like 6 were similar to another. So let's get into it.
Before you, disclaimer, if we didn't pull yours, sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, I love you, bro, but it's okay.
Respectfully, we don't want a 2-hour podcast. We can only talk about so many takes. So we limited it down to 6.
Yeah.
And it was originally going to be 5, but a lot of the takes were similar to one, so it has to be addressed. And we're going to address that one first because 3 people said the Celtics are going to win the finals. And like, what happened? There's a very good chance. Is that hot? Absolutely not.
Ice cold take.
Yeah, that's ice cold. It's as hot as Antarctica. Like you did not get deep in your bag for that one. Is it gonna can it happen? Absolutely, but
yes.
We're not gonna spend too much time on it. The Celtics, I think, can easily win the East, but don't sleep on my Knicks. Everton, I saw you disrespecting my Knicks on the podcast. I was pissed. I know I did not want. Dude, I'm literally editing. I'm like, no, the fuck, he did not just say that. Yeah, no, I was pissed. These Knicks still going to war with Celtics. I'll stand on that. But like the Celtics,
hey, I ain't mad at you.
They'll likely make it out of the East. So it's like, yeah, they haven't. I think the Nuggets make it out of the West as well, but the Celtics have an easier run than the Nuggets do. So the Celtics probably have the best chance to win the finals.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And there's that for your hot take, because now we're gonna get into the more hotter takes.
Let's do it.
The first one: if Paul George fails to get back into his swing of things, the Clippers will fail to make the Western Conference Finals.
Who said that?
This is the part that I'm never doing this on Google Forms again. Could not tell you. And that really pissed me off because like when it gave you the poll, it gave you everybody's and how many like times they submitted, but it did not tell you whose take was what.
Oh, that's so bogus. Well, hey, whoever you are, who said it, you know, hey, that's your take.
I really, because I wanted to shout out because like they dropped their tags and everything, but the Google form did not tell me. I was really pissed off because I didn't know that. I didn't know that ahead of time.
Okay. What was the take again? I'm sorry. I was too held on who it was.
It's all good. Yeah, if Paul George can't get back into the swing of things, the Clippers are making the Western Conference Finals, and this is a great take.
Yeah, I think PG is the second most important player on that team. Obviously, we know Kawhi is the best player, but I think for the Clippers in general, if they want to go far, they need all of those dudes. Like, you know, they haven't been good without Russ. Like, they've been kind of without Russ so far. I think James Harden's contesting his own teammates, funny as hell. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
But I think they need Russ to come back to bring the energy back because, like they said, they feel like they're lacking energy and like a identity.
Yeah.
And then for PG, like he needs to become more consistent. Like we all know what he's capable of. I feel like this season's been the whole PG theme song thing, and he needs to put his headphones back in. You know, start hooping like you get headphones on. So if they do want to go on a deep run, especially going up against teams like Denver, let's be honest, it all leads to Denver. All roads leads to Denver. So for them, that he's got to lock back in and become more consistent.
Yeah, absolutely. Because not only just with the scoring taking a slump, I think his defensive skills are taking a slump this season. And I think there's a legit argument to be made at this moment that James Harden is the second best player on the Celtics. Like that's how deep I'll go about it. Because his playmaking's been incredible. Not that he's an elite defender, but he's been playing his best defense of his career this season. And I think with him moving the ball and all that, I think you can make an argument that James Harden's currently been the second best player. But if you want to make it to the finals, not James Harden, Paul George has to be your second best player this season.
Yeah.
If it was Rockets, James Harden, different story, but it's not that James Harden. So Paul George needs to be that guy. And if I see him in the playoffs hitting the side of the backboard again, we may be having conversations about Paul George's career.
Yeah, we definitely will be having some uncomfortable conversations moving forward. But he's gonna have to lock in if he doesn't want to go through that because that bubble. You know, playoff bubble PG was a new low. That was a low.
Not even top 100 in the league low. Like that's how horrendous it was for Paul George.
That was bad. That was one of the playoff runs of all time.
Dude, no, you're spot on with that. It did happen.
Yeah. It definitely happened. I remember it happening. It definitely happened.
I wish I didn't remember the things. If I ever get dementia in my life, that better be the first thing I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that was awful.
Yeah, that was
But
bad.
second hot take,
Mm-hmm.
Carmelo Anthony is the most overrated player of all time. The most overrated player.
You want to go first, or you want me to?
I'll go first. This is an L take.
I'll take.
I'm not disrespecting skills like that. Like, does Carmelo Anthony's play style not fit into many teams? Absolutely. But no one was getting buckets like Carmelo was. The way he plays ridiculous. And I think it's why players like I talked about this a little bit in the DeMar DeRozan segment, which got
Mm.
uploaded today actually. That him and DeMar DeRozan, they're incredible scorers. It's just their style of plays don't fit into many team schemes, so like it looks awkward. But just because it looks awkward does not mean we're witnessing generational basketball. Because Carmelo Anthony was fantastic. And I'm not gonna sit here and watch this disrespect because when you needed a bucket, Carmelo Anthony was there for you. And what he's been able to do with other players towards the end of his career, is he was more willing to accept his role. It took a second, but he ended up taking that bench role, and he was a great six-man option. His whole career, I know the accomplishments aren't there, but Carmelo Anthony was a fantastic player. And I'm not going to discredit him because the Knicks couldn't build around him because the Nuggets couldn't build around him. Carmelo Anthony is awesome, and I'm not here for the disrespect. I'm tired of it. Carmelo Anthony was so fun to watch, and the things I would have done for him to have been a bull back in the day, man.
Okay. So here's the thing. What I will say, at a
Don't.
certain point, hold on. Let me finish. At a certain point, he was a little overrated. Not
Mhm.
like as a current player, but like the way people viewed Melo at one point. Like we're talking about, he was better than certain players. Like they thought LeBron, Melo, okay, but
Yeah.
right at some point he was overrated. But I think so many people switched up on Melo to the point where he can't be overrated anymore. Right?
Yeah.
Like so many people recognize his shortcomings and his flaws and stuff. Like it's so in your face at this point to the point where it's like you can't even be overrated. Like okay, bad example, Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons is not overrated anymore because everybody thinks he sucks. So
Yeah.
how much worse can he really be, right?
Mhm.
I think for Melo, it's kind of the same thing where it's like, like you're not overrated anymore because people have kind of done too much in terms of what your career was to the point where like you're almost underrated, right? So I'm not gonna say Melo's overrated anymore, but he definitely was overrated. Like there's certain players who people thought Melo was better than, he's just not better than. Like
Mhm.
people will say, "Oh, peak Melo was better than peak PG." No, no, he wasn't. But that's neither here nor there. Look, oh my goodness. Look, here's the
Okay.
other thing with Melo. Great scorer. I think
Yeah.
anybody who knows Melo knows that scoring bag is one of the deepest scoring bags. But
Mhm.
outside of scoring,
Hey,
what does he do outside of cursing
Melo will
against
tell
rebounds?
you he's an underrated defender.
He'll tell you that. And the dude who's on his podcast is gonna laugh with him and say, "Yeah, hell yeah." No, no, you're not.
Yeah.
Look, Melo had his moments defensively where like you're like, hmm, okay, that was cool. But he doesn't do it enough to where I'm like,
No.
yeah, you're a defender. And then
Yeah.
passing, come on.
Mhm.
Carmelo's low-key old gen Michael Porter Jr. Carmelo
Yeah.
never swing the rock at Anthony,
Mhm.
right? And then in the playoffs, his numbers, do you know?
Don't tell me.
Okay. His
Because
numbers in the playoffs drop.
all right, do you want to get controversial here?
Okay, go ahead.
Peak, I'm taking Paul George over Carmelo Anthony. But if we're talking most overrated players of all time, it is Paul George. And I stand on that. Because Paul
Ooh.
George, I'm not saying he's trash or nothing, but people
Mhm,
will still hold him to a high standard, and he was never that. He had the Indiana run against LeBron where he gave the Heat a run, and he had
mhm.
that top three MVP season. And outside of that, it has not been eventful. He has had horrendous playoff runs, like when he got bounced by rookie Donovan Mitchell, when he's hitting the side of the backboard. Paul George has had disaster. So we're talking about Melo's playoffs. I'll happily go band for band in the shit off when it comes to playoff performances with Paul George. And respectfully, there is not a 15-minute compilation of Melo's getting game winners hit on him. It
Okay,
doesn't
that I
exist.
can't speak on that because that is still crazy. Low
Yeah.
key, that's a 10, 15-minute long compilation of you getting game winner is
Yeah.
insane. That's insane. I
Yeah.
won't lie. That is insane.
Yeah, I think these two players can go band for band in the most overrated player of all time thing, but I think people hold Paul George to a higher standard than they hold Carmelo Anthony in. I think Paul George's lows have been worse than Carmelo's lows, and I will stand on that.
It's fair. So all in all, to the person who put the hot take, I think Melo was at one point one of the more overrated players of all
But
time.
never the most, right?
There probably is other guys who might have been more overrated than him, but for the most part, Melo was definitely overrated. But as time went on and people started pointing out his flaws and his shortcomings, it's to the point where he's not overrated anymore. He's just fairly rated. So
I
that's
can
how I
respect
feel.
that. And then this third one, I hinted at it earlier when we were talking about Victor Wembanyama.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me, sorry. I want to know who said this so bad because this is a creative one. Chet Holmgren is better than Victor Wembanyama because the Spurs are so dog shit that it's easier to highlight Wembanyama. What is Blood yapping about?
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What?
If you put Wembanyama on the Thunder, they're the
Oh,
first seed by like 6 games.
stop it. I'd love to have Wemby on our team. Look, let
Yeah.
me say something. Do you watch games?
I know.
Does the person
I
who
just yap.
did the
Oh,
person
I
who
thought you were
makes
talking about me.
no, no, not you.
Yeah.
The person who made this take, 'cause I'm assuming they're gonna watch this video or
Yeah.
listen to the podcast. But if you watch games, the stuff Wemby does, he's just better than Chet.
Mhm.
Like Chet's in a better situation because he got two dudes who could put up 20 to 30 any game, and he has lesser of a role so his efficiency is always going to be amazing, right? And look, I'm a Thunder fan, by the way, so
Yeah.
trust me, I would be caping for Chet if I could, but I literally can't do that.
Yeah.
Wemby, we're talking about a dude who, if you look at the handles, it's kind of scary. Like, whoa,
Dude could dribble.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3-point shot is coming in, right? He pulled from the logo on the first play of the game the other day. The defense, we literally just had a whole talk about how dude might be the best defensive player in the league right now.
As a rookie.
And then the games, the numbers he puts up, like, okay, first off, to say that the Spurs being so bad highlights Wemby more, it's kind of like who cares? Like, of one, it's Wemby, so of course the highlights are going to always be there. But two, at least he's proving how good he is, right? In the bad situation that he's in, he's still showing us how good he is, right? When you have the first part of the season, man, first teammates really don't pass to Wemby, and they still somewhat do that sometimes. And he's still doing what he's doing with that, with the team being so ass,
Yeah.
right? Like the spacing is probably a little suspect. Like Chet's in a better situation to like put up better, like more efficient numbers and like play better basketball. Whereas the Spurs, no, just simply no. So the take is creative, but no, dude, I don't agree
Yeah.
with that. I think Wemby has shown that he's just a better player because he's just a better player.
Yeah, I agree with the fact it's a hot take. Like they definitely didn't miss this
Yeah,
being hot, but like you put Chet Holmgren on the Spurs, no one talks about them. They've won probably half those games. Like Holmgren is great. I don't want to discredit him too much, but like Victor
Mhm.
Wembanyama is going to be the best player in the NBA. Chet Holmgren is going to be top 20, 25 in the
Yeah,
NBA
yeah,
probably.
top 20. I think top
Yeah,
20.
yeah. There's levels to this, and I'm gonna
Mhm.
give Wembanyama's like respectfully. There's not even a rookie of the year betting odds on FanDuel. That's how good Wembanyama's been
That's
this
okay.
season.
Exactly. Come
And
on.
Chet Holmgren's been incredible this season. So you know what that has to say about Victor, man. Like, let's
Exactly.
stop it.
I
And
like
then
the hot take though. I'm
yeah,
not
I
mad
do
at it.
this
I
hot.
respect it because that's a genuine hot take. Some people like the Celtics one. A hot take, Celtics are gonna win. And that's not a hot take. Like
Yeah,
what you just did was a great hot take. So shout out to you.
yeah, I respect that. And then this hot take, there was happened once in the forum. I've seen this a lot online, and I'm gonna talk about it before I let you get into it. But
For
it's
sure.
Kyrie Irving is the most skilled player of all time. And respectfully, this isn't a dog on Kyrie. This is a dog on the conversation. I think this is a stupid topic. I'm sorry. Like the most skilled player in the NBA is the best player in the NBA. It's Michael Jordan, it's LeBron. Those are the most skilled players in the NBA because they're the best. I hate the he has aura and has cool hoops. That's not skill. That's just being fun to watch. So I hate the term most skilled player, and that's why I was happy to talk about this one because skill is the best. There's a difference between skill and oh my God, these highlights are cool. I love his highlight reel. So I hate this conversation. Kyrie Irving is not the most skilled player in my eyes because of that reason. I'm not saying he's not awesome, but I think Kyrie is one
Mhm.
of the best highlight reels you've ever seen, and he has a cool dribble package. Like he probably has one of the best 2K animations if that's what we're considering skill. But he
Mhm.
is not the most skilled player of all the time. The most skilled players are the best players.
So I agree with what you just said, but here's the biggest thing you can say. Defense is a skill. Like
Yeah.
it's a skill to be good on defense. Like,
Mm.
and we obviously know Kyrie's not no defender. Like, I think Kyrie has what they say the deepest bag and all this. Like, Kyrie has a lot of things that he can just pull out of nowhere. So in terms of that, probably the best because some of the stuff he does, I'm like, dude, what made you do that? Like, why did you do that? But like when you talk about skills, there's like you just said, best players like LeBron and his at his prime 3-point shooter. He could like low key shoot threes. Most
Mhm.
athletic player on the court pretty much every night. grab rebounds, pass the ball, score the ball efficiently by the
Defend.
basket, defend. I think that was the last thing I was gonna say. Defense. Like he was the second or best defensive player in the league. Those are a bunch of skills. IQ, that's a skill.
Yep.
And LeBron has high IQ, right? So I think people just, I mean, it's an offensive game, so obviously that's the stuff that stands out. And whatever. I'm not mad at the conversation because when you see stuff Kyrie does, it's like, bro, what is this guy doing? But like, I think people just minimize skill to just deepest bag or like
Yeah.
the tricks he can do. But when you think about like when it comes to basketball, there's more to just that. Like skills is like the whole game. And I think other guys have more like the whole package, and that's why they're the best. So
Yeah. I
I'm
agree
not
with
mad at
that.
the
Yeah.
take, but I think defense is definitely
Yeah.
a skill and IQ is definitely a skill.
Yeah, I get this person's argument, but the way you put it was the correct way to go about it. It's just there's so many skills, and just because you're fun to watch, it's not a skill. That's just you bring in fans,
Mm-hmm.
and so that's why I hate that argument. But the last one, maybe got more than half the replies. That's probably the most common hot take you're gonna see in basketball.
Okay.
But is LeBron James better than Michael Jordan? And we are
I
done with the '90s.
knew it. Oh my God. You want to go first?
Yeah, Chicago born and raised. Fuck off with this LeBron James take. We're not doing it. You don't get to have more finals losses than wins and be the GOAT. I'm sick of the disrespect. Jordan did his game with this, like with zero spacing. Jordan did his game. He was still able to get his buckets. You put Jordan in the 2020s, like we were talking about earlier, and that's why I asked that. And would you rather? Jordan's averaging more points than he did even back in the day. He's still an elite defender. Stop with the disrespect. He would have had more time to develop the 3-point shot and probably would have done it better than LeBron did. Shut up. Stop talking. He's had to go to multiple teams and get help everywhere he's gone. Jordan did it with Pippen and Rodman. Stop the disrespect. Stop the disrespect. Stop the disrespect.
Okay. So I'm gonna say a few things when it comes to the LeBron and MJ debate. One, if one of them isn't your like if you don't have your GOAT already, it's not gonna change. Like there's not much LeBron's gonna do to change that argument, right? So
Mhm.
if he wasn't already your GOAT, you're gonna have to just stick with MJ being your GOAT because unless he out of nowhere just pulls out 2 or 3 rings out of his rear, out of nowhere, he's gonna, and then here's the other thing. Longevity. Now, it is incredibly impressive how long LeBron has been able to be this good. Like
Mhm.
that's a part of the argument.
Absolutely.
But when you look at when you start using, oh, he has the most points. He played 21 seasons. Of course, he's gonna have way better numbers. Like, that's not like that's a good That's an argument, but it's not a good enough argument for me to be like, come on, bro. Like, okay, if you do the numbers, if a dude averages like 15 points per game and he plays 21 seasons, dude, he's gonna have like 20,000 points. And he could be like, yeah, I scored 20,000 points in the NBA. I'm really that guy. How much did you average for your career? 15.
Yeah.
Dude, you weren't even that good. Like, so I feel like when people use the numbers, it's like, come on, bro. Like, I get it's okay to use it to some degree, but if that's your end all be all, I'm not with that. Now with
Mhm.
the finals stuff, I don't hold that over LeBron too much because when you put the losses into context, you can't put it all on him, right?
JJ Barea.
I knew that one, yes. The 2011 one, yes. LeBron, you tweaked. I don't know what you were doing, but the first finals against the Spurs, he was never going to beat the
I
Spurs,
understand. I understand.
right?
Yep, that's true.
The second time he lost against the Spurs in 2014, he balled out, but his team was getting old at that point. So I'm not gonna take that off his resume because at the end of the day, you're still in the Miami Heat and you played against the Spurs. So that one's still on him, kind of, right? The first Cavs loss, both of his best players were injured. I can't
Yeah.
really hold that against him, and he still did his thing. 2017, anytime he lost to the Warriors after that, I'm not holding that against LeBron, bro. Those Warriors teams were legit unbeatable. So I'm not gonna hold up 2017 and 18. I can't hold it over LeBron. And then that was it, right?
Yeah. Oh,
So
those are the ones he lost. Yeah.
yeah, right. So I'm like, I can't hold those over him because when you put it into context, he was not winning those. Versus Jordan, I ain't gonna lie, 6-0 in the finals is so crazy. Never going to a game 7. That's an insane record. Like, I feel like people, put too much into this. And at the end of the day, bro, it's all about personal preference. I think it's gotten to a point where it's just up to who you like more. If you like Jordan more, he could be your GOAT. If you like LeBron more, he could be your GOAT. I feel like it's fine to have either one as your GOAT. There's never going to be, in any sport outside of hockey, probably, there's no definitive GOAT. Wayne Gretzky is the GOAT. I don't think anybody in hockey is arguing that, right? When it comes to soccer, you know what? I'm gonna leave that one alone. Hey, I'm gonna leave that one alone. And
Yeah.
then when it comes to basketball, it's like, yo, if you like LeBron more, he's your GOAT. If you like Jordan more, he's your GOAT. So I think it all comes down to those things. My personal preference, it's hard, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Nah,
I'm a big fan
we
of
need an
both.
answer.
You need an answer?
Yeah, we're not taking I
MJ.
like both.
MJ's my GOAT. I just love like watching his highlights is so fun to watch. I love his documentaries when you hear about like the aura. It's crazy aura that Michael Jordan had. Like, I hate that people don't fear LeBron, but like, bro, to say as another grown man, you were legit scared of another man, that's crazy. And MJ was
Absolutely.
the guy they were scared of. That's crazy. So MJ's my GOAT, but I love LeBron. Huge respect to LeBron. So
Yeah, absolutely. LeBron's a clear two in my eyes. I know I dog
mm.
on him a lot, but as a Chicago native, you live in Elgin. Shut up, Joey. But as a resident Bulls fan, it is my legal requirement to stand on that shit. So I'm gonna
Mm.
always stand on it.
Perfectly
But
fine.
before we end, we're gonna end on something fun, which is something we always do here,
Yeah.
and we're gonna go to soccer to this one because Barcelona they have a 16-year-old who I think the name is Yassine Yamal. Is that how you say it?
Oh, Lamine Yamal, yeah.
Lamine. Why is it a Y? Anyways, Lamine Yamal. PSG offered $200 million for a 16-year-old, according to Fabrizio. $200 million for a 16-year-old. I want to make sure you guys heard that correctly. $200 million for a 16-year-old. That's how much they offered. So Everton, hypothetically in the NBA, trades and free agency don't exist anymore. We're gonna adapt the soccer mentality of where you just buy players.
Mm-hmm.
So I have 7 players here, and I want to know what you think like you're making their transfer value. What's their transfer value?
Okay, compared to like soccer players, like using the soccer player like
No,
value
you're just
type.
telling me what their price tag would be.
Okay, all right.
So the first one, probably the most obvious, if we're doing the compares to Yamal, is Victor Wembanyama. What is his transfer value?
200 million.
Yeah. Yep.
It's got to be somewhere in the 200s, honestly.
You agree
Maybe
he
even more.
has to be the highest transfer value in the NBA. Like
Yeah,
no one's getting higher than Wemby.
yeah, definitely. The only person that's coming close is probably another dude you're gonna name. So, yeah.
The next one is going to be Jason Tatum.
Mm. Jason Tatum. Like 140, maybe.
Yeah, it
Yeah,
has to be in that
140.
range. Yeah,
Yeah, because of age and all that. Yeah, I'd say
because
140.
he's still young. He's not
Yeah,
approaching older yet, and
no.
he's got to be more than Jack Grealish.
Oh, the 100 million Jack
Yeah,
Grealish.
it's got to be more than that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Mm.
Paolo Banchero, is he gonna be higher or lower than Tatum?
Well, you know how much stock I have in Paulo. I think
Yeah,
he's gonna be top 5 at some point. And I think age too, I'll give him a slight edge over Tatum just because of that. 145.
I think it has to be slightly less than Tatum. I think they
I'm
have to
not
be
mad
around
at
the
that
same
though.
value. I would still give it to Tatum, but Caro, I'd still be over 100. I'd put him in the 130 range if we were having Tatum at 140.
It's perfectly fine.
And this one's interesting when you bring age in that factor. How about Stephen Curry?
Mm. Look, I
Because I
know
feel
he's
like
old.
it's still got to be high.
100. I'm going 100.
I wouldn't go that high.
Okay, look, I'm thinking too deep into it.
I say, what did Ronaldo go for like United?
Well, Ronaldo to Juve, he was around
Or
the same age as Curry, and he went for like 100, maybe even more than 100.
that's nuts for me to think about. Because I wouldn't drop 100 on Curry.
Hey, that's fair. Well, how much
Yeah.
would you drop?
I was thinking like in the 75 range.
That's fair too. It's fair too.
Yeah, because for how old is he? 34, 5?
Yeah, 35,
Yeah, for 35, I'm not spending more than 75 million. There's no chance.
which is
I'm
not
cheap,
perfectly
but
fine.
yeah. And the next one, speaking of age, is gonna be Kawhi Leonard.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, probably about 70, 80. I know that's like a weird drop off, but the injury stuff is definitely
Yeah,
bringing it down for me.
yeah, that's what brought it down for me. That's why I'm gonna do lower than that. I'd probably be because Kawhi's 34.
Yeah, 33, 34.
Yeah, with that injury history, I'm not spending more than 50 on Kawhi Leonard because you have
That's
to realize
perfectly fair.
I know he's a great player, and for everyone that doesn't watch soccer like that, older players don't go for money like that. So this isn't like a
No.
disrespect thing. It's just age is huge when it comes to transfer value. So I
Yeah.
don't want you to think I'm trying to disrespect Kawhi here, but that's just
No.
the game we're in. Because like,
Let's put into perspective. For a lot of people who don't watch soccer, Ronaldo right now would probably go for maybe 20.
Yeah, maybe. And that's Ronaldo.
Exactly.
And look at
So
a guy like Robert. Is Robert Lewandowski going for 15 even? Like it's
Hey,
crazy.
yeah.
Yeah. So then the next one, just to try and get a deeper understanding of the value. This isn't like a major star, but we're gonna do the Lakers' young star boy, a 25-year-old Austin Reeves.
I'm glad you said 25-year-old Austin Reeves. I'm so glad you
Yeah,
said that.
always gonna emphasize that because
I'm
he's
still gonna
not young.
go. He's not. People think he's like 19 or 22. No,
It's like
dude.
the Jason Tatum meme where he's just
He's
19 and they
just
say it every season.
19.
Yeah.
Like, come on, bro. I'd say probably about 50. I don't think he's like crazy.
Oh, that's high.
Low key, I was saying 30 in my head, but I'm like,
I
maybe
would
I'll
say you
highball
are
it.
much kinder than I
Should
am.
I say 30? No, I'm wrong with 30, bro. I said 30 in my head, but I'm like, is that low? I'll go
I say
50.
I'll
It's
go
30.
30.
Yeah, 30.
And then the next one to get us interesting because if we're talking about how the other guy was 16, Cooper Flag.
Bro, I'm really high on Cooper Flag,
Yeah, save here,
but
save
I don't
here.
think he's more than Victor or nothing like
Oh
that.
no, 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 no. That'd be
And
crazy.
honestly, PSG highballed for Yamal. I don't know why they offered
Dude, and
200 million.
Barcelona said no.
Exact.
You guys are in debt.
Hey, you know what? I'm a Madrid fan, so I don't care. But
Yeah. Shout
anyways,
out Endrick.
Cooper, you saw that goal?
I saw that goal against
Yeah, yeah,
England
yeah.
in Wembley. Come on.
In what? Icon,
Come on, come
icon.
on. Dude, I've never seen a 17-year-old have aura like that in my lifetime.
Legit aura, like
Yeah.
off rip, instant aura.
Yeah.
Cooper, I'm gonna just say 100 because I
Yeah.
don't know how much more you can do for a guy who isn't even in the league yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100.
Isn't it crazy that we'd spend almost double on Cooper Flag than we would like Stephen Curry and Kawhi?
It is crazy. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. But that's what makes the transfer market in soccer so much fun. And I
So
will
much
forever
fun.
love it, even though Leicester City is banned from the transfer market. Premier League, go fuck yourself. But that's
Hey,
gonna be what's up? What's up?
115 charges.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Suddenly they go Helen Keller on and it can't and just avoid it. Can't see it. It's BS. But thank you guys for tuning into the 5 Out podcast. We made it 10 episodes. I love this so much. I'm Joey the Master, joined by Everton Levy. We will be back and we'll be back together. We don't hopefully we're not doing solo episodes for a while. I still had fun, but it's hard talking to yourself. I feel schizophrenic doing it. But thank you guys so much and stay tuned in. Make sure you like, make sure you comment, make sure you share, make sure you upvote or whatever it is on Spotify. I still don't know, but just show praise. Go to our TikTok, go to our YouTube shorts. TikTok doesn't like sharing our videos anymore. So make sure you look for us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week.
Thank you so much for tuning into this segment of the 5 Out podcast. I am Joey the LeMaster, and me and Everton are so thankful for your guys' support. If you want to keep supporting us, please check out the full podcast on Spotify and follow our TikTok account. Both of those will be in the bio, and make sure to leave a like and stay smooth.